inside India's military helicopter fleet. India's military helicopter fleet is built around a single principle, matching machines precisely to terrain and mission. From sea level to altitudes above 6,000 meters, and across some of the harshest climates on Earth, each helicopter in Indian service is defined by its engine performance, payload capacity, operational range, and altitude limits. Together, these aircraft give India mobility, deterrence, and rapid response without dependence on permanent infrastructure. HAL Chetak. Inducted in the early 1960s, the HAL Chetak became the backbone of India's light utility helicopter fleet, laying the foundation for indigenous rotary wing integration. Powered by a single turbo Mecha R2-IB engine generating roughly 550 to 600 shaft horsepower, it had a maximum takeoff weight of around 2,200 kilograms. Cruising at approximately 170 kilometers per hour, with a range close to 500 kilometers and an operational ceiling between 18 and 20,000 feet, the Chetak spent decades moving troops, supplies, and casualties, proving that locally assembled and sustained platforms could reliably support India's diverse and demanding operational environments. HAL Cheetah. Also inducted in the 1960s, the HAL Cheetah was optimized specifically for extreme high-altitude operations, reflecting India's early understanding of terrain-driven design priorities. Powered by the same R2-IB engine producing roughly 550 to 600 shaft horsepower, it used a lighter airframe with a maximum takeoff weight of approximately 1,950 to 2,000 kilograms. Cruising at around 160 to 170 kilometers per hour, with a range close to 500 kilometers, the Cheetah routinely operated above 18,000 feet. Its sustained performance in the Himalayas reinforced a core doctrinal lesson. In extreme terrain, survivability is defined not by raw power, but by intelligent, indigenous adaptation. HAL Dhruv. The Advanced Light Helicopter Dhruv marked India's transition from licensed production to true indigenous helicopter design. Powered by twin Safran Shakti engines generating roughly 1,000 shaft horsepower each, it has a maximum takeoff weight of about 5.8 tons. Capable of carrying nearly 1,500 kilograms of payload or 12 to 14 troops, Dhruv cruises at approximately 250 kilometers per hour and offers a range of 600 to 700 kilometers. With a service ceiling close to 20,000 feet, it operates across transport, reconnaissance, armed, and naval roles, demonstrating that India could integrate engines, avionics, composites, and mission systems into a versatile, scalable platform for all three services. HAL Light Utility Helicopter. The light utility helicopter marks the next stage of indigenous refinement, directly replacing legacy platforms like the Chetak and Cheetah. Powered by a Safran Shakti 1U engine generating roughly 1,000 shaft horsepower, the LUH has a maximum takeoff weight of around 3,000 kilograms. It carries 500 to 600 kilograms of payload or 5 to 6 fully equipped troops, cruises at nearly 235 kilometers per hour, and offers a range of about 350 kilometers extendable with auxiliary fuel tanks. Designed to operate above 6,000 meters, the LUH reflects India's ability to tailor modern avionics, engines, and airframes for sustained high-altitude military operations. HAL Prachand. The Light Combat Helicopter Prachand is the world's only dedicated attack helicopter optimized for high-altitude warfare. Powered by twin Shakti engines producing roughly 1,000 shaft horsepower each, it has a maximum takeoff weight of about 5.8 tons. Armed with a 20mm cannon, rockets, and guided missiles, it cruises at approximately 260 to 270 kilometers per hour, with a combat radius close to 500 kilometers. Operational above 16,000 feet, Prachand embodies India's doctrine of indigenous precision, balancing firepower, survivability, and agility in mountainous terrain where conventional attack helicopters face limitations. H-64E Apache. The H-64E Apache brings advanced attack helicopter capability into India's inventory through strategic acquisition. Powered by two GT7 double engines delivering over 4,000 shaft horsepower combined, it has a maximum takeoff weight exceeding 10 tons. Cruising at roughly 265 to 290 kilometers per hour, with a combat range of over 480 kilometers and an operational ceiling near 20,000 feet. The Apache carries Hellfire missiles, rockets, and a 30mm chain gun. Its true strength lies in sensor fusion and networked warfare, complementing India's indigenous platforms rather than replacing them. Mi-17V5. The Mi-17V5 remains the backbone of India's medium-lift helicopter fleet. Powered by twin Klymov VK-500 engines generating roughly 2,200 shaft horsepower each, it has a maximum takeoff weight of about 13,000 kilograms. Capable of carrying 24 troops, lifting 4,000 kilograms internally or 4,500 kilograms externally, the Mi-17V5 cruises at around 230 kilometers per hour and offers a range close to 800 kilometers. Operating effectively up to 20,000 feet, its reliability and payload capacity make it indispensable for logistics, disaster relief, and sustained military operations. CH-47F Chinook. The CH-47F Chinook gives India unmatched heavy lift capability. Powered by two Honeywell T55 engines producing roughly 4,700 shaft horsepower each, it has a maximum takeoff weight exceeding 22,000 kilograms. Capable of lifting over 10,000 kilograms including artillery and vehicles, the Chinook cruises at approximately 300 to 315 kilometers per hour and offers a combat radius of more than 600 kilometers. In high altitude and rugged terrain, it turns logistical limitation into a manageable operational advantage. MH-60R Hawk. The MH-60R Hawk strengthens India's naval aviation and anti-submarine warfare capability. Powered by twin GT7 double engines producing roughly 2,000 shaft horsepower each, it has a maximum takeoff weight of about 10,600 kilograms. Optimized for sensors rather than heavy cargo, it carries torpedoes, missiles, dipping sonar, and advanced mission systems. Cruising at around 270 kilometers per hour, with an endurance exceeding 3.5 hours, the Seahawk operates up to 200 kilometers from its parent ship, significantly extending India's maritime surveillance and strike envelope. From licensed assembly to world-class indigenous combat helicopters, India's rotary wing evolution reflects a deliberate strategy: build capability at home, integrate selectively from abroad, and design for terrain, not just specifications. This balance ensures strength without dependency, and power guided by strategic restraint. In strategic terms, these helicopters are not tools of aggression, but instruments of balance, readiness, and control.